Dun 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 dun. Hi, I'm Ebony,
I'm Ivory.
and now we are here to talk about
This Star Wars prequel.
the Star Wars prequels.
This is gonna be fun.
All right, so you go first.
Shall we start with episode 1? It's gonna be terrible.
So wait, we didn't actually put down a plan. What exactly are we gonna say?
We can start from everything we hate from beginning to end of the movie.
Okay. You start.
Alright, well, first off, this is happening pretty early on, I would say. I fucking despise Jar Jar fucking Binks. He's an idiotic character that they had to be on, like, cocaine to think of. It's this freaking half fish, half man who can't speak any language.
He can barely speak English.
He can barely speak any fucking, even the fish language he could barely fucking talk. And he doesn't, does he speak the fucking fish language in the movie? It's been so long I've seen that piece of shit, atrocious work of movie film that...
Work of movie
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that fucking piece of filth they call a movie.
I hate Jar Jar Binks specifically because I feel he set black people back a long way.
I didn't even think of it like that, but
It doesn't help that he's portrayed by a black actor.
that's sad.
That's really fucking sad. Thanks, George. Thanks. From me to you.
You're an
Thank
asshole,
you.
George Lucas.
Really. Oh God.
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for him to like jump out of the theater and be like, "Oh, I was kidding. You're punked." I was just waiting for that. Like, as
Wait,
soon
for
as-
like the inside.
Yeah.
Wait, you saw it in the theaters?
No, I saw all of them in the theaters except for the original stuff, obviously. But no, I didn't really like start to despise the prequels until episode 3. Episode 3 like really fucking hit me hard with like.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But like after I walked out of episode 3, I was like, okay, where's
Where's
the
Ashton?
cameras? Yeah, where are the cameras? I've been punked. I got it, right? No? Why did I just waste that much money on a movie ticket for a movie that was that awful?
God. See me, I didn't waste any money like on the prequels, like at all. I'm so happy. But like which ones did you see first, the original or the prequels?
I actually saw the prequels first, and I saw episode 1 and 2, and then I saw the original trilogy. And after I saw the original trilogy, I was like, what the fuck are the prequels? Like, what the fuck did the prequels have to do with anything that I know of Star Wars? Why are these things, why do they exist? They don't need to
Exactly.
exist. And then I saw episode 3. I was extremely disappointed because going into episode 3, I was like, oh, Darth Vader's coming at the end, so it's gonna tie in to the original trilogy.
No, not at all. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. No, I mean my particular experience, like it was in high school. Like I think it was junior high. Like, I didn't see any Star Wars film, and I was like, you know what I should do? Since everyone loves Star Wars, I should see what all the hype is about. I should watch Star Wars.
And you saw it from 1 to 6.
Because to me that seemed logical. I saw all 3 prequels in one night. I was so fucking pissed. I nearly did not watch the original trilogy because I thought, what the fuck is wrong with everyone? At that point, I didn't know that people hated the prequels. I thought, though they were accepted into the Star Wars family.
Some Star Wars fanboys are like, you have to accept the prequels because this happens and that and that. Nothing
Fuck
that
that.
happens in the prequels is relevant to the future or the original trilogy. It's not relevant to it because they try to connect it at some points, especially in Revenge of the Sith. They try to like line things up, and it doesn't. It really doesn't. You could have gone all of like your entire lifetime just watching the original trilogy, and then if you watch the prequels, you realize they're just irrelevant.
Exactly.
You don't need them.
So anyway, as we were saying, as I was saying, like my particular experience, I was so pissed when I finished the prequels. I almost didn't watch the original trilogy, but
Yeah, you did.
I decided to. Like episode Star Wars The one released in 1977. That's what I'm gonna refer to it as. And like at first, I was like, "This is nothing like what I saw."
Right? Like, it was just completely. Even though the effects weren't as great and flashy as the newer
that,
movies, who gives a shit, right?
The first fucking minute, I was like,
it
"Okay."
had an epic story that made sense. That they didn't need to connect to anything because there wasn't anything to connect to. And then on top of all the action that we didn't see in the prequels, on top of all the awesome, well-developed characters that we didn't see in the prequels, it was just an all-around amazing experience.
See, like what I meant, like, oh, this is nothing like how I saw, because I was used to be like, the prequels, like, they were all fast-paced and shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't used to like, Star Wars being, like so, like taking its time, and I was like that threw me off.
In the freaking original trilogy, they always take their time. Like the battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader was just like 3 steps. It was like.
I know. At that time, I found it boring, but like now, of course.
Now you look at it, so you have to take your time. You can't just jump around like a fucking mindless. And all that is staged. It's like they don't take the time to be like, oh, does that line up? Is there a possibility that I get him? No, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, you do this to make sure you block it. We're good? Alright, let's do it really fast.
Not that fucking bullshit from the prequels where they're literally just hitting each other's lightsabers, not trying to hit anyone. But yeah, and then, what was it, like the next day, I saw The Empire Strikes Back. Oh my fucking god, I was hooked.
In my opinion, the greatest Star Wars movie. Like, nothing beats Empire. And then
I thought that was the general consensus.
Yeah, some people actually like the original Star Wars or A New Hope over Empire. I think personally that's because of how empty Empire felt. Like if you look at the other movies, a lot happens in the original, then a lot happens in Return of the Jedi, and Empire it's just Luke goes to Dagobah. And then there's the incident on Cloud City.
But no, like I think a lot of shit happens in the original. Like
yeah,
no. I mean, I'm sorry. Like Episode 5. Fuck Empire.
Yeah, Empire.
Everything. Like a lot of stuff happened. Like I see that as a natural progression of things. And Return of the Jedi, I understand everyone hates the fucking Ewoks. I do too.
Yeah, that's the one thing I never understood about fucking Return of the Jedi is the Ewok army.
The Ewoks beat the fucking Empire.
And that stinks for me especially because I'm an Empire dude. I fucking love the Empire. I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail for this, but
probably not.
I'm an Empire man. And I'll say it. And it's not because of the Star Wars universe that we know, not the movie universe. It's because of prior to that, the Old Republic. If you played the Old Republic games, or if you read the Star Wars books, the Empire actually has a lot of valid points and are just trying to fuck shit up.
So you would follow the Empire from the Old Republic, but
yes.
What about the original trilogy?
In the original trilogy, you have to be a freaking, you have to be a rebel. You have to. Because they win.
It's true.
It's like, as an Empire guy, as a guy working for the Empire, you're like, wow, we had to take them all away. Ewoks? Wow, we suck.
Jesus Christ.
And the Death Star blew up twice. What are we doing? But if you're a rebel, it's like, we just use bears to win a war.
We are a boss.
Like, that's it. That's the end of it.
Word.
You have to be a rebel in the movie universe. But in the Star Wars universe, overall, I would choose the side of an Empire. I like being an Empire guy.
Okay.
The dark side has a lot of valid points, believe it or not.
Well, I'm talking about in terms of, of course, in terms of power, dark side, in my opinion, wins over the light side. I mean, I don't give a fuck what Yoda says. I never seen no Jedi pull out lightning. I'll never.
That's another reason why I gotta go Empire. Lightning is like the greatest.
Of course,
thing
like
ever.
in the Force Unleashed, like the PSP game, you could do lightning no matter who the fuck you are.
It was a multi-platform game, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Just saying,
and that's because the character who's created, the Apprentice, he was supposed to be the perfect merge between dark and light. And I love that. I love that they did a character like that.
Yeah, but we should talk about that. Star Killer. I personally think he wouldn't fit well in the original trilogy due to the fact that he's OP.
Even though they tie him in the games, they did an expansion where he meets up with Luke Skywalker and stuff like that. But I think we should stay on track with the prequels.
Just a quick tangent. I don't think he would fit well in the original trilogy due to the fact that he's OP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now, you know, because we look at the original trilogy now, and
Like, we thought Luke was this
yeah,
shit.
we thought Luke was OP as fuck.
Yeah.
We thought Yoda was OP with how much he could fucking move with the Force.
Exactly.
You know, he moves ships and shit. Now this guy's just like, no, stop. He's like, no, I saw this guy who's shooting lightning from his fingers and tossing TIE fighters around. No, Luke, you're drunk. Go home.
Go home, please. Alright, back to the original trilogy.
No, back to the prequels.
That were like, you know, I was just talking about, like, you know, my experience. Like, Jedi. I like Jedi. Well, of course, like, Star Wars and Jedi, those are the two films that I can watch over and over. Empire, I only saw that once. I still love it, but I can't rewatch that. You know what I mean? I can't rewatch it. It's like, it is the perfect example of a cliffhanger. I can't just watch that alone. You know what I mean? I can watch Jedi alone. I can watch Star Wars alone, but I can't watch Empire alone.
I understand why you say that.
So back to the prequels.
Actually, the prequels, we gone over everything from episode 1. Oh yeah, another thing I hate about episode 1, Anakin is a child. Why the fuck is Anakin a useless fucking child? Like, you go back and you look at all the other, like, Star Wars shit, and they're like, oh, the Force is strong with him, right? But we don't see anybody, like, we don't see Anakin at all, like, prove the Force is strong. We've seen that with Luke, where, you know, Obi-Wan gives him a lightsaber and he starts training with it, right? We don't see that at all with Anakin until episode 2. I was like, how the fuck do you know that he's strong with the Force if you don't see him do shit?
Another thing wrong with the prequels, midichlorians. Fucking midichlorians.
Yeah.
That's how they determined that Anakin was, you know,
Like,
strong with the Force.
if I could rewrite episode 1, I would make it to that, like, you know that battle they have on Tatooine with Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul?
Yeah.
Yeah, that little battle on Qui-Gon. On Qui-Gon. That little battle on Tatooine.
Yeah.
It'd be badass if, like, Anakin just, like, rides in. You'd be like, holy shit, shit's going down. And then you just see him, like, unleash some freakish Force powers on Darth Maul. And
Force
he retreats.
command,
Yeah, and then you're like, the Force is strong.
With this one.
Take him!
They should have made him like 18 or 17 or something.
Yeah, instead of fucking 12. And then Padme's bonding with him. So Padme, how old is Padme in the first?
Apparently 14, and
14?
he's 9.
She
or
looks
something.
like 17, and he looks like 10. So I think personally that's a little weird.
And apparently
Just a
10
little.
years she hasn't aged at fucking all.
Yeah, right?
While Anakin has grown into a fucking whiny little bitch.
That being said, let's move on to Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones, I think, is the most pointless movie ever made.
I like it. I fucking hate it, but I like it.
Everybody likes, like, out of the 3 prequels, a lot of people say Attack of the Clones is like the best one. I don't think so.
It's not good at all.
It's not. None of the prequels are fucking good. But Attack of the Clones in particular, I think it's fucking pointless because the whole film is a fucking love story. And then what's going on the side with Obi-Wan and the fucking clone army, which doesn't even come into play until episode 3.
I love the fact that you said that. Yes, it's a fucking love story. Oh my god, it's one of the most retarded love stories ever.
It is!
And you know what the crazy part? I was actually immersed in it because of how stupid.
Why?
Because of how stupid it was. Like when the scenes with Obi-Wan, like I was like, get the fuck off the screen.
Right.
Let me go back. Let me go back to Anakin and Padme.
I don't want to go back to Anakin. I hate Anakin and Padme.
I hate them too, but I laughed so hard.
You know what really irritated me? You remember that scene where he picks up the pear with the fork and he starts peeling it? And he was like, Obi-Wan would kill me if he saw me doing this. Really? Obi-Wan would kill you for doing what Jedi do. That's depressing. Luke wish he could have done that, like, as soon as he met, like, Yoda, you know? As soon as he's like, so, is the Force strong with you? Yeah, look what I could do. I can cut a pear.
Fuck!
And then Yoda would be like, yeah? Lifts up his ship and
strip it apart. He's stripping apart and
like,
put it back
oh
together.
my god!
What the fuck are you? I'm Yoda, bitch.
That's what Yoda does. He lifts shit up.
Yoda am I.
Yoda I am.
So yeah, episode 2. And another thing, I think it was completely bullshit how all of a sudden Anakin gets his hand cut off by the villain, Count Dooku.
Count Dooku. And another thing I also found stupid, I want to talk about this because in particular Attack of the Clones, Jango Fett. Jango Fett, that scene lasted like fucking 10 seconds. And then he dies. I was like, really? Boba Fett's father sucked that hard? That's depressing. And then, moving on from Jango Fett, I just want to say this has nothing to do with the prequels. I had a bowl of cereal the other day, and it was, and it was one of those things with, the prizes in the box, and it was Star Wars pens. So then I got Jango Fett. I don't know what to do with it. So I was like, it's a Fett, it's a bounty hunter, but it's a freaking prequel pen.
You know what you should put? Wait, does it say Jango Fett on it?
No, but I know it's Jango Fett.
Oh. I was just saying, like,
it's physically, it's like a physical figure of Jango Fett.
Like, if it said Jango Fett on it, you could just like cross out the Fett, put no, cross out the Fett, put Unchained, and send it to Quentin Tarantino.
Just have him laugh like
I got that joke. Like quick tangent. I don't understand the popularity of the Fetts, or in particular Boba. I don't understand why. I don't give a fuck what anyone says in the comics. Boba Fett is dead.
Yeah, he is dead.
I don't give a fuck. He got Boba Fetted, and Boba Fetted, he gets an awesome character.
Dude, even though he dies in freaking Return of the Jedi, even though he dies, people say, like, out of popularity, that they want to see Boba Fett in Episode 7. How are you gonna do that?
Fuck that. Fuck that.
How are you gonna do that? Like, you're gonna bring him back from the dead? It's like the ultimate form of bullshit.
Because first, I don't understand why Boba Fett is so popular. I don't have a problem with him, but I don't understand why he's so popular. I mean, the fact that he's dead, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And the fact that the fans fucking love him and the popularity brought him back from the dead, apparently, if you're gonna go by the comics, that makes no fucking sense to me. Anyway, that's my quick tangent. Back to episode 2.
I think we're done with episode 2.
Okay.
So let's move on.
In my opinion, the worst one.
Yeah, my opinion is also the worst one. It just barely tops Jar Jar. Like, on my hatred scale, it just barely tops Jar Jar. Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the shit.
I fucking hate this movie because in particular, it's supposed to lead up to the original trilogy and like show an origin story of Anakin Skywalker, like from point of good to point of evil. And they did it completely. It started out making sense, and then as it continued, it made less and less sense. And then when you finished it, you're like, why does that happen? It's not supposed to happen like that. And I know I'm completely speaking out of context, and you people have no idea what I'm saying. It's just retarded. And I hate it. Because it's that movie in particular that really makes you know that you don't need the prequels at all.
I just, like, Darth Vader, like, I call Darth Vader Anakin from the original trilogy.
Dude, I want to see Darth Vader from the original trilogy
meet up with young Anakin.
No, not even young Anakin. I just want him to watch, like, the last, 5 minutes of Revenge of the Sith and be like, what the fuck was that?
That wasn't remotely how it happened.
I didn't do that.
My wife been dead, man.
Right? And just when do I scream, no, like that, I don't say no. I just choke people.
I'm Darth fucking Vader.
Right? I don't talk. I just kill shit.
And when I talk, I'm fucking awesome.
Right? I have, some philosophy in my voice.
Hell, my wife's name wasn't even Padme.
Right?
I hate the idea that they made a character as awesome as Darth Vader into a fucking idiot that only focused on a single-minded goal.
Exactly. And that single-minded goal, for those of you who don't know about Star Wars or don't understand what the fuck we're talking about.
Prequels. Let's differentiate the prequels.
Yeah, the prequels, obviously. In Revenge of the Sith, the reason they give Anakin for going to the dark side was so that he could gain power. I know you're saying no, but I'm just explaining it. Was that he could gain power in order to save and protect his wife Padme, because he had a vision that Padme was suffering during childbirth. Now, at the end of the movie, he chokes Padme nearly to death because of his freaking crazed darkness inside of him, and then Padme dies of childbirth.
Because she lost the will to live.
So, basically they're saying that the purpose of Darth Vader being Darth Vader was so that he could be Darth Vader. Once again, makes no sense, and we didn't need to know all that. We already knew that he was Darth Vader because he wanted to be Darth Vader.
Listen, the reason why I think like George Lucas made this motivation in particular, it was a fucking stupid ass way to try to get himself out of the rut that he put Anakin Skywalker in. For example,
and it didn't work.
Like for example, remember like in the original trilogy how Obi-Wan was talking about how Anakin was a good friend? In Jedi he was saying how Anakin was a good man.
Mm-hmm. They tried to show him how they tried to show it like that.
In the prequel, like hell, in episode 2, he's already a bad guy. Mm-hmm. And like I'm pretty sure George Lucas was like, oh, so I have to give him some kind of heroic motivation for him to become a bad guy. That doesn't make any fucking
sense.
If
they would have done one Star Wars prequel and they just called it the Clone Wars, because if you look at the original trilogy, that's all he talks about.
The Clone
Wars. So why not just, and not the Clone Wars now, because the Clone Wars now goes based off of the prequels, and that irritates me. If they were to make like a separate Clone Wars movie that had nothing to do with the prequels, and they like made it modeled after like everything they tell you in the original trilogy,
exactly,
that would have been badass. That I would have watched that. I would have
good script and a good director.
Yes, I would have fucking loved the shit out of that. But they didn't do that. They made 3 terrible movies off of a character that develops crappily and then ends up not mattering. Is that a word? Mattering? He ends up, it doesn't matter what the fuck happens.
He becomes superfluous.
Yeah.
Big words.
Big words. Ooh,
Are you talking about Anakin?
Yes, I'm talking about Anakin. Who else would I be talking about? Obi-Wan?
Technically, he doesn't become superfluous because if you think of it like that,
I just ignore Obi-Wan. Like the whole
he was
line
completely worthless.
Yeah, you don't fucking give a shit about Obi-Wan.
I mean,
and you want to know what character I wanted to give a shit about, but he doesn't matter at all?
Mace Windu. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, obviously, because Samuel Jackson was badass in the prequels. It's too bad that the character he portrays doesn't matter.
At all. Exactly.
He doesn't. And that's the movie's fault. It's not his fault. But you know what character I really wanted to matter,
Who?
but didn't? Qui-Gon. Master Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon was first of all portrayed by Liam Neeson, another badass motherfucker.
Fucking Neeson.
Liam Neeson, for fuck's sake.
Liam
Neeson. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
So Liam Neeson, I can't say it right now. Liam Neeson. I really want, like, Qui-Gon was an interesting character on top of that, you know? He had that, like, you didn't know shit about him, but he was a badass, you know? And if it would have been nice to see him develop, but dies at the end of episode 1. Spoiler. No one gives
a fuck.
Yeah, right?
We already said these movies suck, so it doesn't matter.
And it really doesn't. That's the sad part. And then, at the end of episode 3, freaking Yoda is talking to Obi-Wan, and he was like, I've been in touch with your old master, like, right? And he was like, Qui-Gon, really? What'd he say? I don't know, I just talked to him.
That doesn't make any sense, though. They're like, apparently, like, that's a way to, like, become a Force ghost or something.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of it not making any sense, it doesn't fucking matter, because Qui-Gon doesn't come up at all in the original trilogy.
Exactly.
So you can't branch off of that.
Exactly. And plus, like, what was Qui-Gon saying something about being able to become a Force ghost? That doesn't make any sense, because how at the end of Jedi would Anakin know how to do that?
Speaking about the end of Jedi, you want to know what really
Fuck!
You know what really irritates me? That at the end of the newer DVD versions of Return of the Jedi, in the Force Ghost, when Darth Vader is supposed to be there, or Anakin Skywalker, they show the one from Revenge of the Sith. That infuriates me. Like, you have no idea how much that infuriates me.
I have an idea.
I think you have an idea, but it really pisses me off.
Oh, God.
Like, it really fucking pisses me off. Like, he doesn't deserve...
He doesn't deserve to be there next to the original trilogy.
Yeah, right? You know, that Anakin Skywalker doesn't deserve to be anywhere near the fucking original trilogy.
Yeah. And George Lucas's reasoning was like, oh, because that was the last time he was good.
Yeah, George Lucas is a dumbass.
Tell me, when was the last time Anakin Skywalker was good? Tell me. The exact last time.
When he threw the Emperor like
fucking exactly. Fuck you, George Lucas. You don't even know your own shit.
Right? He can't. He was like, he did it. He was there for it, but he portrays it as something completely different, which it isn't. I didn't make any sense there. I said everything out of context there.
I'm pretty sure you're speaking English.
Yeah, I'm really fucking just thinking about it. Like, I'm fucking. Am I turning red?
Yeah. You're gonna see that in the video. I'm gonna see that. Like, oh god.
I'm really irritated.
He's progressively getting redder and redder. Oh, and another thing, like you saw like the new Blu-ray versions of the original trilogy, like all 6. Like you saw like how at the end, when Vader's about to throw the Emperor off, he says no.
Yeah. It's so depressing.
You don't need to make him speak.
You don't need to change anything.
Don't.
Just bring us the original copy of Return of the Jedi and just let us watch it.
And the fact that...
And enhance it, don't...
Make it look fucking better.
Like, make it look nice. Fucking add in a couple of... Make the effects, glimmer a little bit. But don't change anything. Why do you insist on changing the little things that made us happy?
They made Han not shoot first.
No, it's not okay. Han, I don't care what anybody thinks Han shot first. Fuck anybody who doesn't think so. Han shot first.
All the heroes shoot first.
Always.
You saw when Luke went to Jabba's palace, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he got the gun. No one told him to do that. A fucking Jedi was about to shoot first. What the fuck else is that? Okay. Thanks, George. We love you. I mean, you had that initial spark that made Star Wars. We love you for that, but what the fuck, man?
I'm so glad he's not touching Episode 7.
Episode 4.
Yeah. I'm so glad he's not touching A Newer Hope. A New Hope.
There was no New Hope, so this is
I'm so glad he's not touching A New Hope.
There was Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and A New Hope.
Which is looking to release around, what was it, 2015?
Yeah.
So, yeah. They're bringing back the old cast. I'm so fucking happy.
I don't want them to be the main characters. I want them to be the supporting.
Yeah, I want them to be supporting
mentors,
obviously.
As long as...
But I like to see an old Harrison Ford.
You know what would be fucking awesome? What? Like, imagine, the director's J.J. Abrams, right?
Yeah.
Imagine, as a take that to George Lucas, something bad happens, and Han takes out his gun before the...
They make sure Han shoots first.
Exactly.
They make sure he does.
Before the villain has time to do anything, he's like, boom! I will cry tears of fucking joy. I will
do backflips in the theater.
I was like, yes! I swear to God, every fanboy should do that if that happens. Just a collective yes. Make sure George Lucas hears that shit.
Dude, I'm gonna go the day of the premiere, and I'm gonna see there's gonna be a bunch of Star Wars fanboys lined up. I'm gonna look for anyone in the prequels who's gonna beat the shit out of them. If you're in the New York area and you're going to the premiere of Star Wars Episode 7, and you see me there, you better hope you're not fucking dressed as a prequel character. Because I will kick your
don't dress as Darth
ass.
Maul. Don't dress as Django. Don't.
Jar Jar.
Who the fuck would dress as Jar Jar?
You'd be surprised. If you look at a lot of the premieres for the prequels, there are some Jar Jars in there. I fucking hate.
They get fucking decked.
Angry,
but I just want them to know how bad that is.
I'm just very irritated right now.
There's gonna be that one person dressed as Jar Jar. I know it. I know. I fucking know it. I know it.
He's gonna troll.
I mean, if you dressed as Darth Maul, I guess I'd be okay with it.
I don't care much for Darth Maul. I do like the double-ended lightsaber, I'm not gonna lie.
It seems more like a hazard to yourself.
It does, but if you know how to use it, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
I don't like the character Darth Maul himself, because he's a fucking pointless Sith.
And he had
He had potential to be a good character.
But the last 5 minutes we see him, he is a fucking idiot.
It's depressing.
You see how like freaking Obi-Wan is hanging over
they
the
say,
ship.
they improve him over. If you watch the Clone Wars, they bring him back.
I'm not
robotic. Yeah, I didn't watch the Clone Wars because I don't give a shit about it because the prequels are already pointless. So if you go off like running off the prequels like Clone Wars does, you're pointless.
The only thing that I can...
You can do all you want with the Star Wars prequels, you're pointless.
Exactly, because we all know how it's going to fucking end! Oh my god.
So Clone Wars doesn't fucking matter. I don't care how good it is, it doesn't matter.
But the only thing that I could say that the Clone Wars did right is that they legitimately made Anakin a hero, but that comes after Episode 2. After he killed the Sand People.
And then we continue to Episode 3.
Where he becomes a fucking asshole again.
Exactly. And then he becomes Darth Vader for a reason
What?
that's soon to be extinct. So
Wait,
it doesn't matter.
that means Darth Vader? It's impossible.
No.
That's impossible.
That's what George Lucas tells us.
So, if George Lucas told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? The original
no.
no, like the original trilogy, untouched except its Blu-ray.
Yes.
You would jump off a fucking bridge for that?
Will I live?
No!
Oh, no.
It's like, you could get this if you die. That's depressing. That's kind of how it is too. I'm glad I had the original trilogy with me. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I was able to rewatch all. I'm so glad.
I'm glad I have the original trilogy on me.
You know, fuck you, because last time I wore my Star Wars shirt, and I only had original trilogy characters. Fuck.
This is
I know.
Yeah.
We could have wrecked our Star Wars shirts, but
Why didn't you? I told you we were doing the Star Wars today.
it's in the dirty clothes hamper. Hey, I'm wearing Bob Marley, so that's pretty cool. It's not Star Wars, bro.
You know what Star Wars merchandise, like, because I've seen a lot of awesome Star Wars merchandise.
It's excessive.
It is very excessive. I mean, like, in particularly awesome. I'd seen these online, and I wanted a pair of them, and I couldn't find them afterwards. They made Nike, I think it was either Nike or Adidas, made a special limited edition Star Wars themed sneaker. It was based off of the texture for the Tauntaun. And I wanted it. It was like gray and kind of blue gray and stuff like that. It was epic and it was soft as fuck and I wanted it. Oh, walk around with Tauntaun shoes. I'd be like, yeah, bitch,
Eat my shit.
I would just walk around like a Tauntaun all day, just like.
All right, so well, those are our thoughts on prequels and Star Wars as a whole, I guess.
Hope you enjoyed the prequel rant. I'm getting very red.
Yes. Well, I'm Ebony.
I'm Ivory.
And
next week we should talk about Thor.
oh yeah, we're gonna watch. Yeah,
So next week we'll talk about Thor: Dark World.
Thor. I hope it's better than the first.
The first one wasn't that bad.
I hate Loki's motivation. We'll talk about that later. So till then, peace.
See ya.
Adventure. Excitement. A Jedi craves not these things.
You have been trying that Jedi mind trick on me since the 8th grade. It doesn't work.
Oh, it works.